Hello everyone, welcome back to a special episode of Advent of Code 2025. As I mentioned, if you watched yesterday's video for day 12, or indeed if you watched the video for day 10, I didn't finish day 10. Part 2, I tried a couple of approaches. I tried a couple of ways of optimizing it as a search problem, and the search space is just too big. And I then said, you know what, this is actually a system of linear equations. And I looked for a system of linear equation solver in Haskell. The only one I could find, well, I didn't look very far, but after I found one, I discovered that it doesn't have a way to require that the ints be positive. But what it is doing is just delegating to Z3, a theorem prover, or I don't know exactly what you call these things these days, an SMT solver. Solutions modulo theories, or whatever that means. Well, you know, what I understand it to mean is that it's a magic machine that you can give it logical statements, and it will tell you if they're true or false, or if there's a way to make them true or a way to make them false for certain assignments of variables. So anyway, this linear equation solver was just delegating to an SMT solver. And I tried out, I think I deleted it actually, but I did try out, I had a Z3 input file that I showed off briefly during the day, at the end of the day, extremely long day 10 video, where I took one of the example problems, this one, for day 10, and I manually converted it to the Z3 input format and asked Z3, what is the answer? And it said, this is the answer. And like, it was right. Great. So, in principle, then, what that tells me is that Z3 is powerful enough to solve all of these problems. And I thought it would be interesting to learn how to use Z3 and thereby solve this problem. So this is going to be not so much an algorithmic Advent of Code day as one about, you know, reading APIs and understanding what they mean and using them appropriately. Hopefully. Hopefully that's what will happen. It might, you know, mean that actually I read APIs for a while and then smash my computer, but probably not. So this library is... So z3.monad exposes a monadic interface for working with Z3. And not everything you need is in this package, as far as I can tell. You need some stuff from like z3.ast as well. And I thought I might do this at the end of day 12. So day 12, after doing part 1, I did some looking around at the documentation for this, which I will summarize now. So, like, actually, Z3 Monad apparently has all the exports you need to at least write part 1, right? Or to write 4 queens, I mean. Okay. So... where, but I don't know what all of them are, so I'll probably have to read through z3.base as well. So if I look at what was I just thinking I needed to know about? I guess there actually is one more thing I need to know, because... Yeah, okay. So the Z3 monad, you have to run eval Z3 on it, and that converts it to IO, I guess. Is that right? Where is eval Z3 in this library? Oh, it's probably over here. Yeah. So eval Z3 takes a Z3 of A and turns it into an IO of A. Cool. But I wanted to know... I guess I was thinking, I want to know how to say a value is equal to some other value. But that's not anything special. You just say, like, you make eq of it, right? Where's the example here? So they have make less than or equal, but I assume there's a make eq. And so I would just say, like, because I'm thinking of, like, I want to define 6 or whatever values up to 10, I don't know, for number of times each button is pressed. Maybe we should review what day 10's problem is. Briefly, there are 4 ints representing, like, power levels of 4 different things. And, okay, 4 in this example, but, you know, up to 10 or something. And there are up to 10 of these buttons. And each button is defined by which of these ints it increments. 0 indexed. So, like, this final button increments these 2 ints. This button increments only the first int, and so on. And the problem statement is, with as few button presses as possible, increase a set of ints from all zeros to the goal value. So my idea is to just define this as a system of equations where I say, like, okay, light number 1, the one in the 1th position after the 0th position, should have a value of 5, and its value should be equal to the number of times this button is pressed plus the number of times this button is pressed. Right? And so define 4 equations that way, defining that each of these is equal to the sum of the subset of buttons that affects that light, that power value. And then I also want to have an assertion that each of these buttons is pressed at least 0 times, because you can't negatively press a button. And finally, I want the sum of the number of times each button is pressed. And at first I was thinking I would just tell it, hey, here's the... here, you know, tell me how many times each of the 6 buttons was pressed. And then I would add them up myself. But I need it to add them up itself anyway, because I need to tell it, find me a solution where this value, this sum of total button presses is minimal. That's a thing you can do. You can say, of all the available solutions, find me one where this number is minimal. I don't know how well it promises to find exactly minimal, but it'll at least try. So I need to add them up to do that anyway, and so I can just assign that in Z3 to another int, that sum. Say, you know, I'll define sum to be, add up these 6 numbers, tell you to minimize sum, and then ask you what sum was. So that's my overall plan. So what do I need? I need to be able to make ints. I need to be able to define sums and equalities. And I need to say minimize. I think that's about it, right? So let's first try to write a really simple thing with Z3 to confirm that I have this library all set up and working properly, which I may or may not. So I want to go to my Cabal file for day 10 and say I don't want linear eq solver anymore. That was one failed attempt. I just want Z3. stack build gonna work? Z3 is not in stack. Oh my god, I hate you. Okay. Well, let's put this in my stack YAML. I really don't understand what doing this accomplishes. I don't understand how stack YAML is related to my Cabal file. Like, stack YAML somehow is like responsible for generating my Cabal file. But then, when I run stack build, it doesn't actually change my Cabal file. So it does something else as well. It like constrains what versions the Cabal file resolves to or something. Okay. It's building. So this will take about 100 years. In the meantime, well, hopefully it will complete. But in the meantime, no, let's go delete all the stuff involving linear equations, which is basically all of part 2. Oops, that's not how you delete. 1. So I think this would compile if my dependencies were correct. Annoyingly, it won't tell me when it's done. Okay, what's wrong? Missing C library Z3. So do I have to install like Z3 dev or something? Nope. I already have Z3 installed, don't I? Yeah, okay. Great. So what's my error message say? Missing or bad header file z3.h. There's some way to ask apt actually what package contains z3.h. Okay, I see a Stack Overflow question from a few years ago about someone doing this on Mac. Yeah, there's a version mismatch, maybe. Okay, I don't... Yeah, I'm not going to follow this instruction, but there ought to be a way... 487. So what version is Z3 expecting? The README explains some mapping between Z3 versions and this library version, I think. So it's not super maintained. Yeah, understood. Z3 version dot bindings version dot... Okay, so what the fuck does that mean? 100 x times 100 plus y for z3 x dot y. Okay, so 408 xyz of this package, which is the version I have here is 408.2, is supposed to support 4.8 point star. What is Z3 version? Okay. 4.8. No. 408 dot bindings version. Okay. Oh God, I really hate running Cabal install. Am I gonna have to learn how to use old style Cabal? But I mean, we're on 4.8 of Z3, so in principle this should be fine. Cabal install Z3. Okay, you got me. I don't think this is actually going to help because I'm using a stack project. My package list is 426 days old. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, all of my Haskell everything is managed by stack. Okay. And so, like, the standalone cabals and GHCs are not right in some way I don't understand. Yeah. It's like GHC doesn't even exist. But, like, it's in stack. Just use this, whatever the stack one is, man. God. I've used GHC up, and it, like, just made things worse. Like, my SSD, which is, I mean, this computer's like almost a decade old, right? The SSD is not enormous, but you know, it hosts my operating system and a few other things that installed themselves in C without me asking. Most of my stuff I just put on a 2 terabyte hard drive, but it does host my WSL Windows Subsystem for Linux environment. And like half at least of the entire SSD is just taken up with fucking GHC up and stack garbage, caches the size of the moon of a million versions of a million packages. And if I use GHC up, it's just gonna get worse. Okay. So I have GHC up installed. So like GHC up TUI, like that's what you're supposed to do to get other shit installed. And I have like stack, some versions, who knows? I don't care. You know, I'm on 273 apparently, or 311. Like, you know, I could say upgrade to this, I guess. Whoops. Well, I thought it would wait for me to... Okay. Well, I seem to have that installed now. Can I get rid of some old ones? Right. Is there a way to, like... I thought there would be... What does S mean? My stack stuff is shadowed by .local bin stack. You want me to make sure that the version of GHC up comes before. I mean, okay, that's fine. I don't know what .local bin is about. I don't manage that directory myself. So I'll install some older versions of stack. I don't really use HLS, but fine, we'll get a newer version of that, I guess. I would love HLS, but I couldn't figure out how to get it working with Emacs. So it turns out today is also a tooling episode as well as a library episode. Hello? Oh, did I have this problem before? This feels kind of familiar. It like unpacked and then got stuck? No, okay, it's actually doing something. I don't need HLS updated, but if I'm going to have a version, it might as well be the recommended version, I guess. Oh, merging file tree. Yes, I remember this just getting stuck and not ever finishing. Maybe it's fixed these days? Good. Yeah, this is just the server. Fine. So now uninstall the old version. Great. I meant uninstall, not install. Great. Cabal. Okay, let's install the new version of that. And uninstall the old version. They recommend, I mean, like, see, I have GHC installed twice. And it was still like, sorry, I couldn't find GHC. Like, maybe I deleted it or something. I don't know. I definitely have just like removed like the .stack subdirectory of my home directory multiple times. So it wants me to have 967. I guess. This is recommended. Fine. And I'm not cutting this, by the way. You guys are gonna watch all this garbage because everyone says Haskell is impossible to install, and then if you complain about that, everyone says Haskell's easy to install. The tools are not hard. You just have to use GHC up. And like I have tried, and it's just it never works. Installing GHC. This may take a while. All right. Well, so how's your day? We're going to sit here through this. I did promise I wouldn't cut, although it does seem like maybe this I should cut because it could take a while. Anyone else do Advent of Code? I know there have been some comments by people. Someone who had, at least one person did it in Haskell, commented about how they did not get caught by the problem I had in day 3 where it turned out that I pranked myself by creating a list of down int instead of a list of int, and it went in the wrong order. That was pretty funny. Anyway, they commented about how they also used down, but they inserted it in the pipeline at a later point, and therefore it wasn't involved in generating the enum list, so they didn't have that problem. What is it that they're doing? I don't know. I mean, like, by the way, okay, there's only like 6 megs there, but isn't there? Oh, excuse me. Like, .stack is enormous. It wants my attention over here. Great. It installed that version of GHC. Let's, I guess, leave the old one. Maybe I'm using it for something. But this one, let's delete it. It's not installed. I must have deleted it myself at some point. It says it's installed. I think that's what this green question mark is supposed to mean. I don't know what character that question mark is supposed to be. For me, it just renders as question marks. That looks like a Unicode replacement character or something. Okay, and I have HLS recommended version, Stack recommended, Cabal recommended, and I see it scrolled back to the top. Okay. So it doesn't have the right version of GHC up. All right, well, let's... If I say S for set, what is that going to do? Switching GHC up versions is not supported. Sure, install the latest version. Success? Install? I don't really know what it did. Okay, I'm now on the latest GHC up. Great, whatever that means. Didn't I tell you to uninstall this? And it just like couldn't? It's not installed. Okay. So anyway, back over here. Oh, it's only 5 gigs of .stack. That's not too bad, right? But then another 8 gigs of GHC up. Like my SSD is not that big. It's like 200 gigs or something, maybe less. I think it's less. Let me find out. And there's just a whole bunch of garbage I don't need most of the time. It's 200 gigs. But I only have 20 gigs free. Like, most of it is Windows, and who knows, like... The fact that, like, to have Haskell, I need 8 gigs of GHC and 5 gigs of stack is ridiculous. And I haven't even looked at Cabal. I'm sure that's in here somewhere. Another gig. Like... And then, okay, there's some more stack. Okay, these are small at least. But it's like, I have a 200 gig SSD, and I'm spending over 10% of it on stack, on Haskell. Stack and GHC up. It's ridiculous. And then it doesn't even work. Okay, fine. So I believe I have installed GHC in a way that hopefully Cabal will know how to find it. So let's try this Cabal program again. I said Cabal install as Z3. Parsing an index cache. Okay, I guess because I'm on a new... What do you mean it could not be found? Like, okay. Let's open up a new terminal. Well, I guess let's open up a new one. Actually, I'm not even sure if this one... This should be a brand new... Yeah, like... What do you mean it could not be found? It's... yeah, okay, it's not on my... But... Okay. I guess you're probably supposed to add like something under GHC up to your path. Is that right? GHC up bin? Yeah. So that's probably what it wants. It wants me to put that on my path. Fine. I'll do that. Let's do an Emacs, the open one already. Bash RC. I haven't edited this in a long time. But it's right there! Right? What am I missing? Tilde bin is the first thing in my path, and that's like a very small collection of tiny programs I wrote myself. Then GHC up bin, and then .local bin, which who knows what that's for. I must have had to do it at some point. Yeah, GHC ID and stack. So I don't know what this was for, but okay. GHC up, bin. Like, it's right there. GHC, right? What am I missing? Which GHC? It's not there. Echo path. .local bin. Tilde bin. Wait, why is that local bin before that? Okay, there must be like something else that puts it. Maybe my profile? I don't know. But anyway, home Amyloid GHC up bin. That's in my path. home Malloy .ghc up in GHC. I see. So it's installed, but not set as like there's no version set as the blessed version, maybe? Oh, maybe this double check mark means it's installed and this is the set version, but like this one isn't actually installed because I deleted it in a rage at some point. Set this. What do you mean the version I'm trying to set is not installed? I just installed it. Okay, you installed it, I guess. Okay. Install this. It's installed. Set it. Fine, install it first. Yes. Yeah. Advance? It should be... Oh my god, I don't want any of this shit. Help. Navigate. I to install a version. You may set it as default afterwards. Yeah. But, like... All right, let's install. So, like, what's the version that I have? I have 9.4. I have 9.6. Is red a broken link? Is that what that means? I think so. Not which file. Broken symbolic link. Yeah. So there's a bunch of ruined versions sitting around here that don't work. I don't remember deleting these. But I guess all I actually have here is 967 and 981. And what Stack is running is 9.10.3, which it has managed in its own stupid place. Like, this is just a nightmare. Now, so wait, GHC it does exist here. Oh, it didn't before though, right? It got added because I called set on it, and I just set it to a version that doesn't exist. And somehow the 9.8 stuff isn't even listed here. But it is defined in .ghc up 981. All right. Well, so it's detected that this is installed. So what if I set this? It is installed though. Wait. No, these are 419. Where did these numbers come from? Are these the ones I had a second ago? Oh, no. Its versions of base are 419. Over on the left is the versions of GHC. Like, I can change the symbolic link myself, I guess. But... like, why is this tool so, like, broken? What have I done to deserve this? Probably the answer is, well, you deleted some stuff out from under it in the past because it was taking up too much space. But it's supposed to manage that. Like, I assume it should just notice if a version isn't there. And even the versions that are there, it's like, no, those aren't there. It's like 981. It says that's installed. I assume that's what the green question mark means. And when I say install, it says, all right, it's there. When I say set it says that's not installed. So, okay. And then it's claiming that doesn't even exist on my path, but it obviously does. You're supposed to do it the other way around, right? GC 981 bin GC. Now there's a GHC. So if I say Cabal install Z3, are you gonna like work with me today? This doesn't expose libraries. I think these days you're not ever supposed to have to run Cabal install. Okay, and it still has the same problem. So good news. Using Cabal instead does not fix the problem, which means I can just live with stack, which just works. The problem is that I have to get the header files in. I thought maybe somehow Cabal install would give these to me or would know where to look for them or something. All right, so let's look back at this poor SAP Stack Overflow thing, because the version of Z3 I have is the version that the Z3 library I'm using wants. So you can run Cabal install Z3 with these extra include-ders and libders. But I don't think I should need to do that. There should be a setting in stack for that, right? You need an older version of GHC than 9.4 to install Z3? It's that old? That it doesn't work with new GHC? Oh, no. They have a version of Cabal that doesn't work with their GHC version. Okay. I mean, I totally believe that the Z3 binding in Haskell is very old. But it seems to match the version of Z3 that apt installed for me, right? It installed 487. How old is that? Z3, not ZE. Also, I typed 476 when I meant 487. 2019. So it's like 6 years old. But like, that's fine. I don't mind. The version I have with apt matches the version that the old Haskell version wants to use, so I would be happy if I could just get them to talk to each other. Okay, so can you do like Haskell stack extra includers? Is that a thing you can do? Yeah? You can. What do I want these to be? Well, not that, I guess. libz3 maybe? No. I never know. How do you find out how to find a file by name in apt? Apt file search. C3.h. Fine. Yes. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you. I hate Linux. Okay, sudo apt file update, fine. I do love Linux. But sometimes you just want to strangle it, you know? And this, I think, is going to search like all packages, not just my installed packages, which is maybe not necessarily what I want. Okay, so this is... oh, okay, so I guess I didn't read the results very carefully. dpackage-s would have been a more appropriate way to find it. Apt file search is looking for all packages in the universe, not just the ones I have installed. But okay, it's almost done updating this. Although, no, dpackage-s wants to know an absolute path to the file, whereas that's what I'm trying to find out. How to... okay. I'll search file name. I guess this works. dpackage-s will tell you what package. Well, maybe it also tells you the actual path. Oh my god, why is it going so... it's still at 99% on that. Delocate? What is delocate? A different thing. Okay, it has finally finished. Z3.h. Okay, in the meantime, doesn't exist. libz3dev. Oh, did I try to install z3dev? z3lib? I did. Okay, maybe I just have to install libz3dev. I probably tried to install z3dev and it said it doesn't exist. Yes. Okay, great. I knew when I was going to use the Haskell bindings that I would probably need like the dev library, but I forgot they're called libfoo-dev. I tried to install either libz3 or z3dev. I don't remember which. Can't link this. Okay, I don't think I care, but maybe I do. Okay, so if I now said, forget all this shit, maybe, and go back to my Cabal file, maybe stack build just builds? Not this window. Not this one. Okay, fine. I guess I'll just open a new window. Date and okay, now it's actually compiled. Okay, great. The whole problem was just that I didn't have the dev library installed. And I thought I looked for one earlier during day 10 and didn't find it because I was looking in the wrong place and concluded it doesn't exist, so I must have everything I need. But I didn't. So the whole quagmire of updating my Haskell versions was completely beside the point. But also it still sucks, so I don't take back any of that. Okay, so we have Z3. Great. Now we can actually write a program, hopefully. I probably actually have to restack GHCI, won't I, get all the dependencies. So let's see. How can we write a very... Okay, I have so many windows to close, guys. You have no idea. How can we write a very simple Z3 program? Eval Z3 of do I make fresh int var I assert make eq. Does it just want me to pass I? Yeah. Make int? How do you make integer? 1. Assert that there's a variable named I should be 1. With model lambda m eval int m I. What does this mean? You have a Z1 of AST. I don't know what Z1 is. You thought you'd have an AST, but actually you have like a binding of an AST, probably. I mean, this is sort of close. And your problem is... Oh, right. I can't just assert an eq. I have to say, make eq, that returns a z3 of something, and then call assert on that. So like this, for example. Assert that make eq of 1 of the integer 1. Nope, still wrong. Oh, I was still reading the old error message. This is the new one. Okay. Right, make integer 1 has to be bound as well. I think I can just use the same bind here, right? Yes. And it says, I found a solution that matches all your assertions, and it happens when I is 1. Good work, buddy. You did it. I'm talking jokingly both to the compiler and to myself because I could use a reward at this point. Okay. So we can run things in Z3 here. I have succeeded in installing my dependency after an hour. Most of which I spent ranting about Haskell tooling. Which, the setup on my computer is still completely cursed. I have no idea what versions of anything I'm running at any given time. And it only works because the stack versions of everything totally work, and the GHCF versions of stuff totally don't. And this is why I don't move off of stack, even though people tell me you don't have to use it anymore. Okay, great. So we should be able to go to main and just like write a program here, right? I still actually, hang on, wait a minute. Let me look a little bit closer at this. Just 1? I don't really know why. Oh, right. I was like, why don't we have to fmap second over something like this version did? And that's because this, no, I still don't know. There's no... We're mapping eval_int. Oh, because, okay, it's not looking at... The ints are just ints. And with model returns a tuple. And at the time I said, I don't know what the tuple is, but it's... I thought it was eval_int that was returning a tuple. I was confused. It's with model... Well... Yeah. With model gives you back, like with model you give it a lambda, and you use that lambda to ask questions about what satisfies the equations you wrote. But then with model doesn't just return that tuple; it returns whether it was able to satisfy, and if so, what the solutions were. And you would think that that could just be a maybe of whatever you called with model with. Like, it's either going to be sat and a just or unsat and a nothing. But there's some other kind of thing in between sat and unsat that involves like using more powerful tools where Z3 can't always decide if something is satisfiable, and it'll say like, I couldn't tell. And I assume that those also give you a nothing. So there is a reason to get a satisfiability state and the questions that you asked. Okay, but that's all lovely. So I think we want to again here do fmap second, which would give us back a just of the questions we asked, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't be so clever. So, all right, eval z3. We'll say we assume we get a result that is a sat and a just of something, I guess. And if this fails to pattern match, it'll throw an error, and that's fine. Although I guess it's going to be just of just I for some weird reason. Eval z3, is that in caps? Yes. Of program, I guess? I guess I don't need to do then, do I? Well, yeah, I do, because I want to say pure I. Where program is do. So this is where we're going to do all of our Z3 magic. Buttons. Right. Each of these is going to be okay. Buttons from traverse. Buttons from 4. For zip 0 with the list of buttons, I think. Lambda n, and then it's going to be now, can I do side effects on this here? Can I, like, say, create a button, assert that it's greater than 0, and then return the button? I think I can. Why not, right? B, oh, it's not, it's, gets a number and a button. B is make fresh int var of B show n. So B0, B1, and so on. Then, let's see. 1, I guess we'll name it underscore 1 following the example in the programs. Make integer 1, 0. Do I need any other integers? I mean, I will, but the only ones I need for every button and every whatever is this one, right? Are 0 and 1. So I think I can just say here, since I'm working in Z3, I can say assert that make GE 0 B, right? Assert that B is at least 0. And then pure B. So we're going to get a list of variables representing each button. But in the process of creating a variable, we have also told Z3 that this must be at least 0. Okay. So this is obviously not done yet, but I would like to test that what I have so far is working. So let's say total presses fresh int var total, I guess. Assert that make eq of total presses is equal to the sum of buttons? Anybody want to make bets on whether that's going to be correct? Oh, it's not sum, it's add. Make add. Takes a list of AST objects and fresh int var gives you back a Z3 of AST object, so I think that makes sense. Then let's return no, wait, I don't think this is right. Because, well, okay, let me go look at the example again. Yeah, so all this with model and eval int stuff can happen in Z3. It doesn't have to happen in IO. So I guess what I can say is with model eval int total presses. So this might return the type I want here, right? What fails to compile? Everything. This is not indented enough. It shouldn't be indented this much, though. It should be there. Right? No, it actually should be, well, it should be here. Oh, I have to pass m to eval int somewhere, don't I? First argument? Yeah. Of course. How's this? What? Why are you saying... Okay, what is wrong with that where? It's this do. But shouldn't I be allowed to write... Like, this where looks like it's part of the do, but it isn't, I guess, is the problem, right? Yes. And where is sat from? Z3 base, maybe? Yes. I haven't even imported Z3. All right, very funny. Import Z3 monad everything. Import Z3 base. Result sat. Okay, now we are seeing actual errors. Great. Int and integer. Okay, fine. Very funny. Total presses is not in scope. I must have spelled it wrong somewhere. Oh, I said less than or equal to. Of course I meant this. All right, eval int returns a maybe for some reason. Okay, and here... What do you mean? What is the type of eval int m total presses? Okay, so what is the type of eval int, I guess? Where's my documentation? Eval int. It returns an eval AST of int. See, model eval and get int. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So getInt gives me an takes an AST and gives me Z3 of int. An eval int gives me an eval AST? Oh, eval int is, it doesn't give me, it is an eval AST. So it's a function from model and AST to maybe integer. But I'm giving it eval int okay, I think my fmap is wrong. I don't know, I have to like fmap integral or something. But okay, eval int is a function from model to AST to Z3 of maybe A. Yeah, I see. Like this. Eval int Z3 of integer. Z3 of maybe integer. And I'm saying make it an int for me. I mean, I could make this integer, I guess. because all my inputs are ints as well, and it's going to be kind of annoying, but okay. I'll have to convert between them, I guess. It parses. It compiles. There's a bunch of stuff I'm not using. But what would happen if I ran it? It'll probably give me a bunch of zeros, right? Oh, it's going to be slow, of course. Yes. Okay, so it ran a program for each of the machines, and the program set up a bunch of variables, said add them together, and said, I don't care what the answer is. Is it possible to do this? And Z3 said, yes, make them all 0. I think is what happened. Good. Good, good, good. That's what I wanted. So now we just have to set up the other equations relating each joltage number to some subset of the buttons. So I think what we want is for each... And I don't have to bind anything here. This result I don't need. God, 4 is in a different fucking live pack module than... Okay. I think that's right. For each... Okay, so what is joltages? What is the definition of a machine? It's an int map. There's no real reason it needs to be an int map anymore. That was for some other thing I was working on. But an int map is not a horrendous type for this. I guess I can just get the elements out of the int map, right? Because I know they will be from 0 to n, contiguous for some n. Oh, no, because I actually do need... Okay. Soaks, then. Lambda of nj? Right? Kind of? We probably need a do here. We should goal make fresh int var and we need to make sure this has a distinct number from all the others. Well, yeah, I don't know if there's a way to use it. No, there should be. I can just create an integer. I don't need an int var. Right. Sorry. Make integer of so the joltage goal we will define to be an integer, or we will convert to an AST node representing that integer. Then I just need to assert that some sum is equal to that goal. Assert assert? No. That make add of buttons affecting n, kind of? Like... Oh, whoops. Make eq goal. Assert that the goal is equal to the addition of the buttons affecting n. That seems true. So I'm going to have to define that function, of course. Let buttons affecting n be. So it should return the variables representing those buttons. The number of times that button was pressed. I guess... What is the type of buttons? It should just be a list of something, right? Yeah, a listed int set. Okay. So let's again zip 0 because I didn't leave the buttons labeled, so I'm gonna have to index through them again here. Oh, I have two variables named buttons, don't I? Whoops. Button bars. Okay. Well, no, I shouldn't need that. I can just zip the buttons with the button vars, right? And filter them. Do. Everything's better with a do. B and V from zip buttons with button vars. Guard that n is I for inset, I think. L B, the button. Pure V. So get all the pairs of buttons and button vars. Check that the button affects the n that we care about. And if it does, return V, the variable associated with that button, and otherwise don't return anything. Okay, let's see what the compiler thinks of this. Oh, it's not element, it's member, of course. The guard isn't in scope? I usually have that by now. What am I using replicate m for? I'm parsing a list of buttons. Okay. Okay, we have some warnings. Let's go ahead and fix those. First of all, I just want an int. Integer would be fine, but I don't need a full arbitrary precision integer for a number between 0 and 10. Then what? B, the button is not used. That doesn't seem right. Well, I mean, I guess it is actually, right? Because when defining one variable for each button, I don't need to know anything about the button. I just need it to be... I'm passing in the list of buttons just so that I have a list that's the same length as the list of all the buttons, actually. So that's fine. We're not using this. And that'll handle the shadowing warning as well, right? Oh, come on. Okay, now we're not using a machine index. That's true. I was just using that for printing. Yeah, let's go ahead and print that, actually. Print machine index. Let's see how it's doing. First of all, so, okay. How it went is that I got an error on the very first one. Well, okay, let's not delete this just yet. Let's like comment it out. Sure. It failed to satisfy. Well, that doesn't seem right. Now, is there... How can I... Like... I want to see all the assertions I've made. Like, can I view the program? Get model. So sat model and get model. Okay. Convert. Okay, so solver to string looks interesting. Because it doesn't take any arguments. It just takes like whatever you've done so far. Okay, well, that'll be interesting. Okay, eval. Eval C3 of program. Solver to string? Does that make sense? I don't think so. Actually, I guess I want this, right? So eval the compile the program, do all of those side effects of making assertions and stuff, but then instead of doing any of it, just yield solver to string. And then let's eval that. It compiles. Okay, so this is good. Is there like a Let's actually, instead of is it pretty printed? Not bad, not bad. Okay, so it's defined buttons from 0 to 9 in some crazy order, which is fine. Total is an int. Yeah. All the buttons from 0 through 9 are at least 0. That looks right. Total is the sum of all the buttons. Yes, that looks good. What the hell is this? Model add? I don't know what this means, but let's keep looking at this part. It's saying 0 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 should be 56. So let's go look at our input. Which buttons affect the first number? Button 0, 1, 3, not 0, 1, 3, 7, 8, and 9. 0, 1, 3, 7, 8, 9. 0, 1, 3, 7, 8, 9. That looks right. So adding together those buttons should give us 56. That's a good assert. So I think I've done this right as well. Then this model add thing is very strange to me. Oh, so maybe somehow model add is synthetically added as like something it has figured out? Independently somehow? Like, it's B4 is 23 more, is 23 minus B0 minus B1? Maybe it figured that out. I don't know. What does model add mean? C3 model add. I do not trust the Google AI result, but I don't see any others that mention... Okay, can we look at the docs for the Z3 package then? Or maybe the source for it? Like, what does this solver to string do? Base solver to string. Okay, where do I have base? It's over here. Model to string, right? That's what it was. Solver to string? Yeah, it's solver to string, okay. Whatever that is. Z3 underscore solver underscore to underscore string. So this is a C function. Solver class reference for Z3. So maybe this will tell me something. I don't know what model add. Like, where is that coming from? Like, this looks like the kind of thing that it would, like, maybe from this system of 10 equations, it was able to, without me asking for it, determine relationships between some of them. Like, say, B4 must be 23 minus B0 minus B1. I don't know how, but it figured that out, I guess. And like total is 140. Why 140, I wonder? Who knows? Minus... No. Well, yeah. Minus 2b0 minus 2b1 minus b5 plus b3? Huh. So I guess, like... I mean, it could be that it's saying at this point, oh, there are multiple solutions, I won't give you any of them. I doubt it. I doubt that's what's happening, but it could be. So what I'll do next, I guess, is tell it what to optimize for. So is this optimized type? And you can ask what the optimize is. I don't totally understand why... Like, I want to call optimize minimize, that's fine. You give it an AST, that's fine. What does the int that it gives you back mean? That puzzles me. Base optimize minimize, of course. Okay. And I assume that's just calling, yeah, Z3 optimize minimize. All right, well, hopefully I don't need to know the answer to what this means. So let's... Total presses is the sum of all the button vars. Yeah, that seems right. Optimize, minimize, total presses, please. Maybe that'll make a difference. And it hasn't added that to what it prints as the model yet, I guess. But unsat. Okay, so the What did I end up doing with the integer 1, by the way? Did I use it for anything? No. Why did I think I would need this? Okay, let's just say I don't. So the model that I've printed is sort of what I thought I wanted. And it's going to fail again. So, have I... It's not, as far as I can tell, saying, oh, there's too many answers. It's saying, this is impossible. So, is it possible that I have not faithfully... that I have defined some... I have given Z3 a problem that I think is a representation of the problem we were asked to solve, but actually there's something wrong with it. Oh, fuck. This is a Haskell versus Lisp thing, isn't it? No, I think I'm just stupid. These should be less than or equal. Or they should be reversed, right? They should be backwards. I've been asserting that each button can be pressed at most 0 times. So I want this. And like, back when I used Clojure all the time, I was used to writing stuff with the comparison operator in front. But it's not like, and if I were writing it now, I would say, of course, you know, greater than b 0. Like, I still have that, but I don't have the right instincts, I guess, for a prefix function that's got an alphanumeric name instead of an operator name. I don't know. I just didn't notice that this was backward. And reading it here, I just sort of skimmed over it. I didn't read it carefully. Yeah, and it said 92. That's the answer. So that looks pretty good. Oh man, look at it spewing out. It's going so fast. Okay. Well, let's see if that's right. No, it's too high. Well, I mean, I asked it to minimize. Maybe put it here after the assert that it's equal to sum, just in case that makes a difference. I don't imagine that will make a difference. Yeah. Don't tell me this is going to be another failed attempt. I can't take it, man. So we can run it on the test input. Let's see, does it... Yeah. So here's our example. What the hell, disk new style? How did that get here? Whatever's there, I don't want it. Cabal install must have put it there, I guess. That's my test input. So if I say part 2 prepare of read file test input.txt, yeah, I guess that is just an IO of int. Could you print it, please? No. Oh my god. What is going on here? Oh, right, I can't fmap part 1 into it. I mean, join? There. 36. So the actual goal, the number we're hoping to hit, is 33. So, I mean, I can get some extra debugging information, but well, I guess that debugging information will help me determine whether the problem is that the only solution that I had specified the problem wrong, or that I specified it right and it just didn't find the best answer. So actually what I'd like to do is I guess. Total is this. And this gives me a maybe for some crazy reason. Oh, the problem is... No, it's not yielding unset. It was doing that before when I had used greater than instead of less than. Okay. So I want like individual buttons. Over the button bars, I think. And so, like, I don't know, this whole thing really could have been like a lift A2 or whatever, but it's fine. So we're returning a pair of things. Just total, just presses. Print of machine index total presses, let's say, like this. And so we should get for each machine the solution Z3 came up with. Nope. Wrong number of justs somewhere. Oh, the presses are themselves a list of maybes. God, okay. Sequence A, maybe? Flip it from a list of justs to a just of a list. Close. Oh, I wrote eval into here instead of total for some reason. Okay. Yeah, okay, the total isn't actually, so... Nope, not main. 11, 14, and 11. Okay. And here's our input file as well. So first of all, is this a valid solution, despite it taking too many button presses? We pressed... It's a little hard to tell. Let's look at the last one, because it has the smallest number of lights. Or the smallest number of buttons, I guess. Oh, but the first one has the smallest number of lights. Okay, fine. So how many times was button 0? How many times was light number 0 lit up? That should be 3. Yes, we did press button number 4 3 times. Light number 1? We pressed button 1 5 times. And button 5 0 times. Okay. Button 2, light 2. Is... Wait. I think I'm reading something wrong. Yes, I got confused and started reading... No. Yes, okay. Let me try this again. Button 0 I got, or light 0 I got right, I think. 3 presses between buttons 5 and 6. Yes, we have 5 on button... Okay, button 4, I guess, technically. Light 1 is affected by buttons 1 and 5. We pressed 1 5 times and 5 0 times, so that adds up. Light 4 is affected by buttons 2 through 4. And we press them 1, 0, and 3 times respectively. So that works. Light 3 is affected by buttons 0, 1, and 3. If we press 2, 5, and 0 times, yes. So that is a solution, but it is not the minimal solution. Because we have 11 presses, but it is possible with 10. So even Z3 has failed me. It's doing a best effort minimization, I assume. Let me make sure that I'm using minimize in the right way. Because that's the one thing is I don't see in the program that it's actually trying to minimize. Like I told it should, and that's the one thing that didn't show up in the problem definition. So give me this. Just so I can be clear about what it's doing. Yeah, and there's no optimize there. So I think the optimize must not be getting sent for some reason. So, do any of these examples use optimize? Probably. Let me... Fine. Nope. Okay. None of the examples use optimize. All right. Actually, I think you can search on GitHub. I just don't do it because you can only do it if you're logged in. And for a while, I used to struggle with staying logged in on GitHub because I didn't log in very often, and I didn't have an authenticator set up properly. Okay, so that's not going to solve my problem. So, but optimize, minimize just calls lift optimize 1 of base optimize maximize or minimize. Optimize minimize is called Z3 optimize minimize. So, and it's also like this lift fun thing, which I assume just means call Z3 optimize minimize. It's a 2-argument function that takes an optimized value associated with a thing, right? Was optimize assert? Optimize assert and track? What do these do? I don't know. But for now, I think I've already done this, but what does Z3 optimize and minimize do? Somehow I found myself in the Python version of the API docs. There aren't Haskell ones because the Haskell ones are just on top of the C++ ones, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would understand if the answer is Z3 can't find you the absolutely minimal answer. Its optimization is just a best effort thing. I just don't know whether that's true or not. Well, okay. Here's something we can do at least. I have here a program. All the stuff before the model add is what I actually wrote. I guess I want Emacs after all. Oh my god. Yeah, it's all one long line because I copied it out of Tmux. Okay, let's try this again. Oops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I've forgotten how to copy. No, not like that. Isn't it this? Maybe I did do it right. Oh wait, no, that was okay. That was the wrong paste. That was the Windows paste. Okay, it worked. Great. So if I just then say also, I forget how to C3 optimize min in its syntax, like, but not the Python API, in the actual SMT syntax. Minimize. Okay, so I think I just need to say minimize total 6, right? And then I say check sat and get model, I think. C3 of this. It says, yep, I found you an answer, and it's horrible. No. It's right! The total is 10. Oh, I'm gonna strangle somebody. It might be me is the problem. So the problem is that the optimize is not being passed through to Z3 when I say, please optimize, minimize this for me. But if I do it by hand, when I create the input file, and then add the minimize to it myself, it works. Well, what am I supposed to do about that, man? Optimize minimize, just like, it doesn't return anything. You just put it there. Is there a way I can ask Z3 what it's optimizing for? So this is Z3 base. I mean, who knows what this is doing, right? It's working at a low level. It uses context instead of a monad thing. So this is the one I'm actually using. And it just returns a Z3 event. So maybe I have to say optimize get model instead of get model in order for the optimization to be applied. I assume this is just calling through to some underlying function. Yeah. Lift optimize 0 of optimize get model. Okay. So this is all completely undocumented, but that's a plausible guess. Oh, so, but what about with model? This is all a mystery. So Z3 is an instance of monad optimize. It should be capable of tracking my optimize calls. Yeah, tactics are a much lower level thing than I'm working with. Okay, I don't need any of that stuff. So with model, calls get model. It doesn't call get model optimize or optimize get model or whatever it is, right? So maybe that's the issue. Optimize get model. So I guess I'm going to try calling this. Okay. What do we think of this? Oh, a bunch of justs are gone because I'm not using with model anymore. I think you're probably supposed to optimize check first, if I had to guess. Maybe? Maybe not. I have no idea what these optimized functions are for. I guess I need to find the documentation for the C bindings for Z3. Okay, so what type is it saying I actually have? I think it might be saying I have this. Like I just have a maybe and another a maybe of a list. It is saying that apparently. It found a bunch of zeros. So all this optimized stuff didn't do anything. Do I need to like call optimize assert instead, maybe? All my asserts. That didn't help. Do I need to say maybe? Okay, I mean, what's optimize check do? Who knows? But like, there's some stuff that optimize get model isn't doing that it seems like solver get model and with model might do, right? So I need to maybe mirror more what with model is doing. But it's not doing anything. It's just calling get model. Which is solver get check and get model. Okay. So maybe I need something like that. So check and get model calls solver check and get model. Okay. But is there, sorry, you guys haven't been watching as I've been reading the docs here. Is there some analog of this for the optimized version? That's the thing. I don't think there is. But maybe I have to call optimize check first to get answers? But what am I checking? Like, it's just a bunch of ASTs. It's not from the context like the Z3 stuff, the solver stuff is. See, all this stuff is just direct wrappers around the C libraries. And then there's these functions down here that actually like do something related to the monad, right? So it's calling like solver assert constr, solver check. So like maybe I'm supposed to optimize check, but what do I check? What is solver check? See, solver check looks at the assertions in a solver. They're like implicitly already there because you've called solver assert constr. Which is what assert does. So like optimize assert, I thought maybe would be necessary to but I mean there's nothing else I can do, right? I don't know what I'm supposed to optimize check. Optimize check takes a list. Base optimize check, okay. Which is going to be okay, this is actually not totally trivial. I don't know what the hell it's doing. So it's marshalling the list of things, the list of ASTs. I don't know what H2C is. I mean, I guess it must be converting a Haskell optimized value into a C optimized value, a pointer to an optimized value, and then it marshals the array. And it calls F, which I assume must be like a result pointer here, or a continuation rather. C3 optimized check. Okay. So here's Z3 optimization. Create a new optimize context. So the user has to manage the optimization pointers, but that's a thing that I think is handled by the Z3 library. Assert constraints to the optimization context. So maybe the issue then is related to the fact that I'm not... I don't know. All these assertions are being passed to the optimize as far as I know. They're optimize asserts, right? But maybe it would help if I somehow could optimize minimize total presses before I define anything else. That shouldn't be necessary. Like, I'm making some assertions here, just saying that each button has to be greater than 0, I guess. But, I mean, this stuff, I suppose I could move up. I can also say optimize check nothing. Hey! Those are answers. They're the right answers. It doesn't look like the call to optimize check actually matters. But this is what made the difference? Yeah. Okay, I don't understand that. But I guess you have to declare what you're optimizing before you start setting other constraints. This constraint I made first, but apparently that's okay because... I don't know? Alright, well, I mean, let's run main, I guess. No, it's all zeros, you fuck. Why? Oh, because I didn't recompile after putting this back in the right place, I think. Oh, I haven't put it back in the right place. No, this is the right place. Tell me that was the problem. No, it's not. Okay, so part 2. It worked for a minute. Okay, maybe it actually was the optimized check. And I mistakenly thought that it was not necessary. I convinced myself by actually not running... Okay. Like, I failed to recompile after toggling that part. Yeah, that must be what it is. So if I get rid of this, recompile, and run it again... Okay. So that matters. Does this order matter? I bet not. Okay. Just have to explain that that's stupid. That part doesn't matter. You just have to have optimized check empty list for some reason. To tell it, like, hey, actually run the model. Like, I guess get model is saying, tell me the answers without first having said, like, run it. I just don't know why optimized check needs a list. I can understand if optimized check took nothing. I don't know what I'm supposed to pass to it. But, fine. Okay, these are numbers, man. And they're lower than the numbers I had before. That's very exciting. It's the right answer. Okay, we're going to go check out day 12 in a minute, but let's get this junk compiled, or committed, which involves removing some stuff. We don't need to print the program. I think just this, right? I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it actually runs pretty fast, right? Like, I don't need a progress bar for this. Okay, I want these comments checked in, I guess, because they are useful for debugging and understanding what's happening, maybe. Actually, wait, don't I have some warnings, right? Presses is not used, machine index is not used. Well, that's all true. C3 base is redundant because I'm not using that anymore. True. I don't need data set. I don't need bool. Yeah, there's a lot of imports from the previous attempt. I don't need control arrow. Sure. I don't think I need applicative do either. Interesting. Using applicative do was suppressing warnings from the normal parsing of do notation. I don't really care for this warning. Like, if it were up to me, I would say -w no unused do bind. But, and it is up to me, but I don't know how to handle a cabal file. No unused do binding, is it? Unused do bind. Got 'em. Okay. Now we're error-free, or warning-free even. Do I even need lambda case? This is a big pile, but not really any bigger than what we had when we were trying to use the linear equation solver. Yeah, fine. Day 10, part 2. At last. All right, so now we can go celebrate by seeing what's going on with all the Christmas trees at the end of the rainbow, right? And also, we can admire the fully complete, whatever this is. The facility? This is the path I took, I guess. Yeah, see, these are the papers. The forklift smashed through somewhere, I guess. I don't know the details. So, day 12. I should be done now, right? I have enough stars to finish decorating. Yes, please do. You help the elves decorate the Christmas trees with all 24 stars. Now, the elves will have plenty of time to prepare for Christmas, and you get a well-deserved break. Congratulations, you've finished every puzzle in Advent Code 2025. I hope you had as much fun solving them as I had making them for you. I'd love to hear about your adventure. You can get in touch with me via contact info or... Okay? If you'd like to see more things like this in the future, please consider supporting Advent of Code. I've highlighted the Easter eggs in each puzzle, just in case you missed any. Hover over them, yes. So now there's at least one in the description for each day. All right, let's have a look. I caught a couple of them. What are the little Easter eggs all about here? This one? Yeah. You should have seen the chaos when the elf... Oh, right, you guys can't read the tooltips, because I'm just capturing the window. You should have seen the chaos when the elves overflowed their 32-bit password method counter. I think I did highlight this one. I don't remember. But I also remember noticing that this actually says click. So, cool. Day 2. Surprisingly extensive selection. They said they even sell lunchboxes and blue tents. See, I don't find these, like, Easter eggs all that compelling, right? That's obviously not the main reason that I'm solving the puzzles. You could if the escalator weren't offline. Joke is that it's stairs. Escalator, temporary stairs. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to read all these. You guys can read these if you want. I just don't really care. I'm just happy to have a fully complete advent calendar for a change. You can decorate the North Pole again. Yeah. So this one left me a little puzzled. I'm kind of amazed that you could solve it as easily as I did, because the problem setup they gave you is way more difficult than what you actually have to do. And yet it seems like it was clearly designed to be solved easily. Because, like, the one thing I could think to do to get a pulse on the problem also gave me the answer of the problem. Kind of a surprise, right? But I'll take it. Hope you guys enjoyed Advent of Code. You can always, I upload various puzzles and games all throughout the year, but, I'd be happy to have you there if you want to watch some of those. But if you're just here for Advent of Code, well, I'll be back in about a year, probably. Never any guarantees. I might get hit by a car or something, or I might decide don't want to do Advent of Code. But so far, I've done it at least partway every year since it was first published. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.